Yo, what's up YouTube? It's TRS or the real Smokey here, and today I am bringing you my mod 14 DPS loadout for my Scourge Warlock. So what I'm gonna do in this video is go over all the gear, feats, boons, companions, mounts. So let's just get right into it. The headpiece for this build, you will be wanting the Curse Lord Raid headpiece, which does come from Castle Ravenloft with the seal vendor. You do have to remember, this build is for endgame. So this is the gear you will be wanting to aim for. Then this headpiece is just nice because if you are still lacking the crit, you get 1,500 when you're above 50% hit points, and when you're below 50% hit points, your life steal is increased by 2,000. And the reinforcement kit I've got on it is armor pen, because I was lacking a little I was lacking a little armor pen on this. The chest piece is the Hag's Rags. This is a best in slot pet chest piece for warlocks and other ranged classes, because your ranged powers do 3% more damage, got a nice array of stats to it, and the armor enchant I am using is negation. This one is a bit of a personal choice, but you can either go for negation, soul forge, or back shield. It's all personal preference in that area. I just find negation to be better and outperform the other ones. Onto the arm pieces, it is the Terrored Grips. Your encounter powers do 3% more damage. Reinforcement kit is power. Some people will be like, why are you not using the Ice Stalk wraps? The ability is stacked now. You are correct with thinking that if you're a great weapon, if you use a great weapon fighter or with the heals and the chest piece, but they stack. But the 3% range powers do not stack. It's been tested by many PC warlocks, and I do look at the charts when they do that. The weapon set is the Exalted Primal, main and offhand. On the main hand, you will be wanting to put Hellish Rebuke, because that is our main at will that we use. And the offhand, it is Flames of Empowerment. Because Flames of Empowerment should never be leaving your loadout. And this one is, yet again, personal choice. You can go for combat advantage damage, the companion influence, which means you get more stats from your companion. I know it's a small increase, but it's still better. But a lot of people go for the AP gain if you still need it, which I do not. And some people will go for combat advantage bonus, but as you'll see when I go through the stats, I got enough. The feats are still the enduring boots. When your stamina is full, your damage is increased by 3%. That just is enough to say itself. Some people will be like, use the boots of the wielded. I know a lot of warlocks do use the boots of the wielded. But the enduring boots are just straight up better because it works on everything. The neck piece is the Baphomet's Infernal's Talisman, which is a part of the Orcus set, or the correct way for it is the Demon Lord set. So yeah, that's just self-explanatory. That's been in all DPS builds since it came out, because it's just amazing. The rings are Ring of the Shadow Stalker +4. I I'm wanting a +5. I have not been fortunate enough to pull a +5 yet. Because a +5 is you deal 2.5% more damage when you are 25 yards or closer. And the ring combined with that is you could either put a +4 or a +5 of this Shadow Stalker, so that would be 4.5%. Or you can put the ring of offensive action, because it's near enough identical the damage that each of them do. Just if you're an item level whore, people will use a +4 and a +5 of Shadow Striker. And to go with the neck, it is the Demogorgon's Girdle of Might, which is self-explanatory. The shirt and pants are the upper and lower primal gear, which you get from Omu campaign star. The artifacts is the Soulsight Crystal Edge are active because it is just an amazing artifact. Power, Life Seal, it's always nice to have a little bit of Life Seal. The other ones I'm using are the Sigil of the Controller, so you do need a level 70 control wizard if you want to get this artifact. It's a power, crit, control resist. Control resist is a bit meh, but the power and crit is nice. Next one is Fion Book of the Dead, which is crit, armor pen and action point gain, which is just nice. And to complete the artifacts, it is the Shard of Orchid wand, which completes the Demon Lord set. So now we're going on to my stats, and this is what your rolls should be for your Constitution, Intelligence, Charisma. It's saying 28 at the moment because I've got the campfire buff and I get the 2% from the demon belt. So the initial roll you will be wanting will be 18 Constitution and 18 Charisma. I know a lot of people go pure Charisma, but Constitution is damage dealt and maximum hit points. So you will want to roll an 18-18. Because Charisma is crit chance, companion stat bonus, and your combat advantage damage. So I don't see why people go Charisma over Con. It's Con over Charisma. I know I've had a few people ask me that before. But as you can see, my base stats, I'm sitting at just short of 42,000 power, 18,000 crit, 7,000, just short of 7,700 armor pen, 8.7k recovery, because that's the matter I didn't go over. The weapon enchant that I'm using is a Unparalleled Fate Touch. I almost forgot that. This one is just best in slot. Until they bring out something better or nerf the holy hell out of the Fate Touch, that ain't going nowhere. And the enchantments are Black Ice in offensive and Radiance in defensive, because 9 times out of 10 when I'm running dungeons, I'm running with a paladin, which I go up to 248,000 hit points. Because as a warlock you need to stack more because of the way the aura courage calculates for it is different. It's different for every class. Don't know the correct numbers, but it's like a data multiplier of each percentage of hit points, somewhat along them lines. But yeah, Black Ice offensive, Radiance defensive. So they're the most important stats. Next, I will be going on to powers. I'll be doing it in order as in you can see at top. So powers, feats, boons, companions, mounts. In my right trigger, it depends on what side you personally like to have Hellish Reboot on. I like to have it on the left, Eldritch Blast on the right, because it does a little bit of AoE damage until next mod, which Hellish Reboot, if you spec right, will be damage. It'll do AoE damage, which you'll see that at later there. I'm using Brood of Hadar as my main daily, And before any you think of it, I do not use the damage exploiting combination of Brooder Hadar and Hadar's Grasp, because that is getting fixed next mod. So if you think you're doing a lot of damage now, come next mod, you'll get a decrease in damage. The power I use in X is Fiery Bolt, because it's just a nice upfront damage and great for AoE. It is slightly bugged at the moment, so it is getting a decrease next mod, but it's getting buffed but getting nerfed at the same time, if that makes sense. Because at the moment it does too much AoE damage. It does like so much percentage more than what it's supposed to. The next power is Pillar of Power. This is a must. It's your damage and damage resistance are increased by 24%, and then allies who stand in it gain 75% of that. So you personally gain 24% damage increase, damage resistance, and your allies will gain 18%. And then enemies get a damage and a damage resistance by a percentage. By what is it, 24%, no, 22% for your enemies. So the Flame of Empowerment is the first class feature. When you attack a target with an at will, they are affected by Flames of Empowerment for 6 seconds. The damage is increased to that target by 2%. So when it's at rank 4, it's 5% for that pure stack, and it stacks 3 times, that's 15% damage. So you do have to keep using your at wills. Your next power is Hellish Rebuke, which I personally got in left trigger because that's where I prefer it. I know some people prefer their main at will in RT. It's where the common the common misconception of great weapon fighters just need to press RT when they could. But if you're watching this video, you know all that anyway. The second daily I use is Tyrannical Curse. It's self-explanatory, and I'm sorry if you heard my phone go off then. It's just great for getting spread AoE damage. You put it on the target, the damage that the target takes is increased by 25%, and then it spreads 25%, so pretty much you get a 25% boost that puts you up to 125%, and then 25% of that goes elsewhere. So that's actually quite nice. And then next one is No Pity No Mercy. Using this one because crit hits give you combat advantage, which is just nice because all your DOTs, pillar critting all time on the target, so you've got pretty much a constant combat advantage regardless of your positioning. And I know in the last DPS build I did, people brought up a comment about using this with certain feat, but I'll go into that a little bit more on the next tab. So the next thing is, that's it for powers, so now I'm going to be going on to my feats. I know this is going to be a bit of a lengthy video, so I will be putting timestamps in the description of where everything is. So now on to the feats. As you can see by my feat, feel free to pause it, read over the stuff yourself. But this is what I personally use. I use Energizing Curse, which gain 30% more action points when attacking cursed targets with at wills. All the targets you're attacking are going to be cursed. So the 30% action point gain is nice. Next one is Weapon Mastery, increase your crit chance by 3%. And then Toughness, 3 out of 3 in Toughness. Increase your maximum hit points by 9%. Then the next one is Empowered Rituals. Your encounter powers deal 6% more damage. Pretty straightforward and self-explanatory. Next one is Determined Casting. I know in the last video I mispronounced it. I probably just said that wrong as well, to be a bit contradicting to myself. This has only got 1 point in, because even at 10%, the cooldown is very negligible, because I rock decent, I rock, what, about 15-16k recovery, so the 10% really does not make a difference. If you are lower at item level, you will be wanting to put 5 out of 5 in this, and taking away the 3 points out of... Where did I have points before? Taking the 3 points out of Weapon Mastery and putting them into Determined Casting. Next one is 5 out of 5 for Blood Pact of Canic. Increase the amount of bonus damage Constitution gives you by 5%. So this is why you build higher Constitution, because that gives you a base, I can't remember the number correctly off the top of my head. I think it's 18%. I could be wrong with saying that. It's either 18 or 36. And then the next one is Devastating Critical. Increase your crit severity by 15%, which is self-explanatory. So, as you can see by the feats, there's some interesting choices here. First off, I'm starting with Parting Blasphemy. I think that's how you pronounce it. When a curse is removed from a target, deal 50% of your weapon damage. This is for when you are in a bigger group, because you can curse number of targets, but if you're constantly switching targets, you'll be reapplying these curse to different targets. It'll take curse of one of your mobs, so it's a little bit of extra damage. Not much, but a little bit more. So I'm going into the Fury tree now. Critical Promise. After a crit hit, your next attack will deal 40% of your weapon damage and necrotic damage. And this feat is better than Daughter's Promise. Daughter's Promise is a bit meh. But Critical Promise, 40% of your weapon damage, which a Warlock's weapon damage is relatively low. I believe it's 2200. So it's really not a lot, it's like 800. So next one is Offering to the Prisoner. When a cursed target is killed, your damage is increased by 5% for 15 seconds. This again comes to if you kill a target in the AoE situation or a mob in a boss fight, it will help you deal more damage to your primary target that you're going to be aiming for. It's so helpful. And the next one, this is what I was on about earlier with not putting on mercy. It's been shown by PC Warlocks that even if you have Gatekeeper's Empowerment, you do not get a damage increase to the DOT of Hellish Rebuke. The percentages did not go up. The effect from Gates of Hell still work, but the DOT of Hellish Rebuke does not. This feat is bugged at the moment. So until it's fixed, I will recommend running No Pity No Mercy. And the next one is Infernal Wrath. Your lesser curse also causes the target to have 5% less damage. And I don't know what it is, but something on the Warlock seems bugged, and I believe it's Pillar. You seem to apply lesser curse to targets regardless of if you're using all-consuming curse. Lesser curse appears on mobs, so that's 5% less damage resistance. It makes them a little more squishy. And the next one is Hell Touched. When foes deal damage to you, they become Hell Touched for 10 seconds. Foes who are Hell Touched take 10% more damage. And with you being a warlock, you're normally in the mix of everything, so you are taking knocks from all sorts of targets. Some of you will be worried about, oh, I won't be able to take a hit because I'm quite frail. That's where your cleric or clerics come in handy. To help you stay alive. That's what they're supposed to do. The next one is Executioner's Gift. Your at-wills and encounter power deal 15% bonus damage as the target's health diminishes. So, the less health a target has, the more damage you do, is just how this feat works. I believe you do maximum amount of damage with this feat starting from 85% and below. I think that's how it works. Never had full confirmation of that because I'm on Xbox. I can't fully test it on PC myself. The next one is Killing Curse. When attacking a cursed target, you deal additional 25% of your weapon damage. So again, some of the feats in this tree are a bit meh, but Killing Curse is just an extra bit of damage. Next one is Brutal Curse. Your Warlock's Curse and your Tyrannical Curse increase the damage against targets by an additional 10%. So, that's a good thing about it, with Tyrannical Curse in AoE situations, because it makes sure you do 25% more damage to the primary target, and then an additional 10% on top of it. So, if you're using Warlock's Curse or Tyrannical Curse, or a combination of the two, which I know a lot of Warlocks do that, which is actually a really nice combination to up your damage. And the next one is Creeping Death. When you deal damage with your at-wills, encounters, or dailies to a target affected by your Warlock's Curse, they're affected with Creeping Death. Creeping Death deals additional 75% additional damage as necrotic damage over 6 seconds. Creeping Death stacks. This is amazing since they fixed it. It needed fixing, and I'm so glad they did that, but that was last mod when they fixed it. So that's why Warlock saw an increase in DPS last mod. So that is the feats done. The boons I will be going on to now. I didn't mean to scroll over to companions then. Stronghold boons, you're going to be wanting power, hit points, utility, use whatever, and PvP booms are irrelevant now. So obviously I've got all the PvP booms because I just wanted them, because to be honest the game was stale at the point when I was going for them, and yeah. So I'm just going to be scrolling down these as I go along. Pause them at any time. All the feats are self-explanatory of the ones I selected, so I will just be taking a few seconds on each one. Feel free to pause at any point. So, now we're going on to companions, and as you can see, I've got the Chultan Tiger as my summon. I am using 2 Mastercraft rings, which are the Bronzewood Raid rings, which are power and crit. And the neck piece, which I got fortunate enough to pull it before you could buy the stuff, is the Heroic Necklace of the Companion, because I needed a precise amount of armor pen when I first equipped this, and the bald was too much, and the heroic was just enough, which is a power and artifact. As you can see, again, nearly 10,000 power, 6,200 crit, 2,100 armor pen, and 2,100 recovery. The next companion is the Siege Master. Use the Siege Master in all areas apart from T9, which in T9 you will be wanting to use the Alpha Compare because it's a 5% damage increase in choke. Next is the Earth Icon, which increases your damage against targets by 6% when you're at full health. This is amazing because the full health does not mean full health. I know that may sound a bit confusing, but it is 85% and above. But that's how they calculate it. I know, it's a flaw in the game. The next one is the Razorwood Companion. This is why you use No Pity No Mercy. The 25% combat advantage damage works out at about a 15% damage increase for us, because we can keep permanent combat advantage. It's so nice. I might be a little bit wrong on the 15%, but I know it's somewhere around there. And it's just phenomenal. It's a go-to companion. The next one is Air Archon. Increase your damage against targets not at full health by 5%. But it is also boosted by the Earth Archon, so technically you're getting 5.5 from the Air Archon and 6.5 from the Earth Archon. They both have this effect, so in total you're gaining a 12% damage from the Air and Earth Archon. But if you cannot afford the Razorwood Companion or any of the others, I would recommend using the Ernie's of Belial if you cannot afford any of the preset 5 that I've got on, and the Fire Archon. I know that they have stupid names at the moment because as you can see, most of the companions there I've been through at some age or another. Well, yeah, that's pretty much it for companions. So the next thing is the mounts, which as you can see, I've got the Stratton Firefront mount. I like to ride around on it. I recently acquired it through a giveaway, but that's not the important part. The important part is, trust me, this is expensive as well. The combat power I have is the T-Rex power, because I've heard from multiple sources that they do not see a huge damage increase from the Swarm mount. So it's tick for tack. Swarm or the T-Rex. Either one of them will do. And then the equip power is using a daily power grants 25% of your action points over 10 seconds. I can normally use, in that 10 seconds, I can normally use 2 dailies if the clerics are good enough. Which I've got two clerics I love to run with. They can make me do that. Because DPS is nothing without the support. And if you say DPS are good without support, you're full of horseshit. Because the support makes the DPS. The next thing is the mount bonuses. You'll be wanting to use Cavalry's Warning. Whenever you activate a mount power, you gain a 10% increase in power, recovery, armor pen, crit, defense, deflect, regeneration, and life steal. I'm not sure how long this lasts for because it doesn't state it and it's hard to see it on your buff bar when in combat. The next one is Artificer's Persuasion. Whenever you use an artifact, your recovery, movement, action point, and stamina gain are increased by 10% each power. And I always use my mount, then artifact. So my stats hugely get buffed. Next one is Shepherd's Devotion. This is a team supporting mount. Shepherd's Devotion. Whenever you use a daily power, your teammates' defense, deflection and movement are increased by 5% each power. You can't stack this by yourself, but if multiple people are using their dailies and stuff, they stack. So in combined group, you can get up to 25% increase to your defense, deflect and movement if everyone uses it at the same time, which can be quite difficult to line that up because some people earn dailies quicker than others. The next one is Magic's Patience. Whenever you perform a crit strike, your enemy target will take psychic damage equivalent to 10% of your power over 4 seconds. Allied targets are healed for 3% of your maximum hit points every 4 seconds. So this is a best of both worlds. You heal your teammates as well as do damage. And in a normal group that I run, I am probably sitting at anywhere between 150 to 200 power. So 150 to 200,000 power, should I say. So you gotta think that's between 15 and 20,000 damage that's doing, which is nice of 4 seconds. And with the amount of times a Warlock crits, my Warlock crits, should I say, it's amazing. The next one is Protected Camaraderie. Whenever your summoned companion attacks, you gain 3% of your power and defense for 10 seconds. This effect can stack up to 4 times. I would not recommend stacking it 4 times because it's diminishing returns. If you want to stack it 4 times, you get the 3%, 1.5, 0.75 and 0.37. Because every time you would stack another one on, you would lose it. It's just diminishing returns. It's half every time. So that is the gear, powers, feats, boon, companions and mounts done. The next thing I know you're going to be wanting to see is the rotation. The rotation is pretty simple. You'll want a curse, pillar, 1, 2, 3, use fiery bolt and killing flame. That is the basic rotation if you do not have a daily. If you have a daily, you will be wanting to do it like this. Curse, pillar, 1, 2, 3, daily, fiery bolt, killing flames. Rinse and repeat. That is the most simple rotation. But if I were to do it with a daily mount and artifact, you will be doing curse, pillar, 1, 2, 3, use daily, artifact, mount, fiery bolt, pillar again just to make sure, and then killing flames, and rinse and repeat. It is a rather straightforward rotation. I just did it slowed down then. If you don't like using Hellish Reboot, Eldritch Blast, it is, as you can see outnumbered. This is just me self-buffed. It is nice. So, if you did enjoy this video, please leave it a like, subscribe if you are new, and if there's anything that you do not like or anything you want to discuss in this video, please let me know down in the comments and I will reply to you rather swiftly. So until next time,